6 o'clock, I call this meeting over. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barb, roll call, please.
Mayor Steve Feldman.
Present.
Councilmember Jerry Tveit.
Here.
Joe Muehlbauer.
Here.
Robert Bauer.
Here.
Rich Skorno.
Here. Okay, do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bauer makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Muehlbauer? No discussion? Barring any discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. On the consent agenda, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda for tonight? I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Muehlbauer makes a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I just have one question for
Sure.
the administrator. I always hate to see employees leave, and when they leave, we do understand why, and we understand whether it's exit interview process or anything that, I mean, not personal reasons, but if there's things that, we understand the reasons, and if there's things we need to look at, we are taking that into, or noting those. Okay. Yep. That was the only question I had.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, moving on to meeting open to public. Barb, do we have anybody?
Yes, we do. Mike Roger.
All right. Mike, state your name and address, please.
Mike Roger, 2770 232nd Lane Northwest, St. Francis. I live in the Ponds development, and I've been bringing this up for a couple of years now. We cannot hear the emergency sirens over there. Unless you are standing outside, it's very faint. And I brought this up many years ago, and they said they were going to look into it, and nothing's been done about it. I'd really hate to see an F5 come with it through here and nobody cares for it. If that's something we can look into, it'd be appreciated. One of the other things I'd like to speak to the council and mayor about is our roundabouts. I know they're not ours, but they are our eyesore. They look terrible. There's not much we can do about it this year, but I'd like to see you guys plan for something next year. Find some funding or something, and I'm sure I can find enough people to go out there and plant flowers around them, maybe some prairie grass. And I think that's something we have to clear with the county. I'm not sure, but it's something, let's prepare for it now. That's the gateway to our community. Let's dress it up a little bit. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Anyone else, Barb?
No one else.
I have a question for
Okay.
Joe on that. Did you ever happen to find that agreement?
Sure, yeah, Paul Teicher and I talked about it at great length today. He's in conversations with the county. Right now, everyone's interpretation is that the county is in charge of maintaining the center of the roundabouts. To elaborate a little bit on the point Mike made, I think we had the option to submit a landscaping plan, and we declined, and that's why what's in the center is in the center right now, because we didn't take an active role.
Okay.
That's something that could be changed in the future if the council would like to pursue that, though.
Okay.
Can we do, is there any such thing like an adopt program or something like that, like you see on these highways, or something where people in the city can do something? Will the county be open to that? Or?
I think the county would be open to just about anything. I think anything that
Adopt a roundabout, eh?
I think that the one hook is that whatever, if they do agree to allow us to do that, we're going to be in charge of maintenance in perpetuity on it. So that is a recurring responsibility that we would take over.
Would that just be the grass area, or do you think they'd try to, I mean, would it end up being the cement and everything as well?
I think we are in charge of the cement or the concrete on the sidewalks as of...
We already are?
Yeah, at least the concrete portion of it.
Plowing, of course, is county. The sidewalks would be us.
Do we, Paul, I guess I will defer that one to you. I think we are in charge of the sidewalks.
Right now, county is in charge of the snow plowing and the removal of that snow from the center of the roundabouts. We are responsible for the trails, the asphalt portion. We do to make sure there's connections with the school and everything, we have what we call our school snowplow route. So we're taking care of majority of those trails in front of the school and to get to the school. So there are some areas that we noticed last winter that the county would come out and take care of it one time and then we'd get it next time, or kind of back and forth, so.
Well, but I know I've driven around under roundabouts, and I've seen them in a lot better shape than the weeds and stuff that we have growing on ours, but I agree with Mike. I mean, it's an eyesore. I mean, if we're gonna have them on there, it's not on our main street. I mean, on Bird Street, of course, is our main street version, so, and if our city planning goes the way we hope, I mean, they should be a little more attractive than just what they're showing, so. However we can do that, I don't care if it's whether adopted roundabout or whatever we have to do to talk to the county, we should do something, I think. I think that'd be a good idea.
You know, Mr. Mayor, whatever we do, you know, we want to make sure that we do it safe if we do plant like prairie grass or maybe have a sign or something there. You know, we want to make sure that people will be able to see around the roundabouts because we don't want to block any vision.
Right, that's
And
true.
then we're creating a problem because people are going to stop to see if the coast is clear.
You can't see over them anyways.
You can't see over the top of the mountain.
Well, I'm just
Okay.
saying
Well,
that,
yeah.
and then in addition, you know, we do want to be careful on how we go forward. I think that something needs to be done, but what we don't want to do is right now, if it's the county's responsibility, it's their dime. And you know, maybe there's an agreement that we can have written up that they come out and just do it on a monthly maintenance thing. If we take that over, you know, like our city administrator alluded to earlier, that now all of a sudden it's our baby and it's our dime. And we just took on extra costs for nothing. You know, so
Well, we tread lightly, but we should tread.
right, you know, I want to make sure that we don't assume somebody else's problem.
Okay. I agree with that, but like I say, we can tread lightly, but we need to tread something.
Yep.
We need to show something, you know. Paul?
Mayor, council, I will continue to work with the county and we'll get, and we'll make sure that both parties agree to who's responsible for what here.
Well, here's another question while we're talking about it. On Bridge Street there, before and after the Rum River, you know, on the hardware side, you've got 30-mile-an-hour zone. And then on the Casey side, you got the 40. So we talked months ago about, and I know it's in the hands of the county, but we talked more about getting some more signs up there to let people know what the speed signs are, because again, there's only one of each. So where are we with that with county? I mean, I don't know, I know they don't move fast, but.
Last week I did receive a letter or an email from the county that had reached out to the state, and basically the state said essentially it is what it is right now as far as the speed. Now we can request a formal speed study, but as we've talked about that in the past, where if, you know, if they feel, if the state comes in and sees that their traffic can move faster, they will sign it faster and post it faster. So it's one of those, we need to be certain that this is something that we want to do before we make that request and go into it understanding that the speed limits may go up through the corridor.
Well, are we talking more about, when our conversation was in the past, were we talking more about raising the speeder from either dropping it to 30 and maintaining it throughout, or 40 and maintaining it throughout, or adding just some more signs on to clarify it better?
What I recall is that the Legion Club came forward here at the very beginning of the project and wanted to have the speed lowered and have the speed consistent through the corridor. We do find that our law enforcement has some difficulty enforcing the speed limit through the corridor because it does change 3 different times, I believe. So there is some difficulty with having that enforced. So we wanted a consistent speed throughout the entire corridor and hopefully slow it down. What the county told us at the time was, let's wait until the project is complete and then we'll see what we can do then. Now, What I did was I waited for them to do their informal process of possibly lowering the speed limit. We're now to the point of, if we want to lower the speed limit through the corridor, I think we would have to go to a more formal process and request a speed study with the state.
Okay, I mean, we're at between 30 and 40 now on each side. It almost seems like 40, 35 would almost be common sense, like really just to split it, but still we have to go through the procedures.
Right.
Dave, the police, do you have any recommendation as far as what you'd like to see on Bridge Street there between one side and the other? Which speed you think would be the best way to go?
It all kind of depends, because during the school year, even that, when it drops down in the school zone, that's still, like you guys said before, it's still a bunch of different speeds throughout the whole area. So I don't have a personal preference. I don't know if anyone else does either.
But it should be consistent though.
It should be.
Okay.
It would make it easier.
All right, well, let's see where we can go with that on that with them. I mean, you know, I'll have to write a letter if you need one, but whatever we can do. Okay. Any other further discussion?
I would just say that maybe consistent throughout other than the roundabouts, because you can't up the speed there. People don't even slow down right now, or either that or they stop. They either speed through it or they stop. But it needs to be a bigger transition period there for people to...
Right, on the roundabout side it's a 40, right?
Well, it's 15 through the roundabout.
Okay, but the 40 is the sign we see before, and then...
Yeah, 40, and then goes right to 15, and then it comes out at 40 and turns to 30, I think, when you cross the bridge.
Right. All right, I think it's something we should look into though, so. All right, moving on, let's see. We have tobacco license application for River Country Cooperative 22945 Lake George Boulevard. Joe? Anything on that, or is there Barb on that
I
one?
can take it.
Okay, great.
River Country Cooperative has applied for a tobacco license. They are going to be, tomorrow is actually their sale of the Super America store. They decided they do not want to apply for the 3-2 license that Super America currently has. So just before us tonight is just the tobacco ordinance that they were applying for. They did submit their workers' comp insurance, and they'll provide a full-fledged certificate of liability insurance to us once they close and have everything submitted to us in our name. But everything looked good. They do own 9 different Super Americas in the metro area.
So can I ask you, what was the difference between the license they had there and the place to what they want?
Anytime, it's the same license that Super America had, but being they're changing ownership.
Okay, so it's
They
more of a
have to-
title change?
Yes, they have to reapply because it's a completely different name.
Okay.
So would it be better to make a motion then, pending that everything gets in?
Yeah, they can't give it to us until the sale, and actually the
And we need
tobacco,
insurance.
the tobacco is what they're waiting for, so they could have the sale
Okay.
tomorrow. They just wanted to make sure that they could get tobacco license
Okay.
before they closed. So they did have the workers' comp insurance in, and that's what they need for the tobacco.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to grant this application, or approve this application.
Okay, Mr. Bain makes the first. Do I have a second?
Mr. Mayor, I would second.
Mr. Swindle makes a second. Any further discussion on this?
I have a question, because I heard a rumor. So this is being sold, Super America, to a different Super America owner?
Correct.
Okay. I heard a different gas station was going in there. That was rumor. So I just wanted to clarify that.
No, they own 9 others, right?
They own 9 others. Because they just said they're changing ownership, and unless they change names, but it's always the business that, the corporate business has to be the one that applies for the license. It can't be.
Right, if they were changing hands, they'd be through a lot more P&Z and everything else. You just can't go in there, so. You can't become a Quick Trip or Casey's or something like that. A lot more to it. So this is more of a title thing than anything else. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, moving on to Ellers and Associates, Resolution 2017-19, awarding the sale of the general obligation capital improvement bonds, Series 2017A. Nick is here?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Nick Hanna. Mellors and Associates, financial advisors to the city. And I'm here to present the results of a bond sale that was held this morning on behalf of the city of St. Francis. If you recall, last month, the council authorized a refinancing of bonds that were actually issued by the EDA, which the council and the city were making lease payments for its public works and safety facility here in the city of St. Francis. The bonds were intended to convert the existing pledge of those lease payments to a general obligation pledge. The taxes of a levy expected to be repaying those bonds as they are, as is consistent with the existing covenant, as well as supplemented by revenues from the utility systems. I'm happy to announce that with the results of the sale, we're anticipating $1.485 million savings over the life of these bonds. These bonds will be repaid between now and the year 2036, cutting 1 year off of the end of debt service. And those savings, on average, equate to about $82,200 per year. So a reduction in those sources that we will utilize to repay those bonds. In addition to converting to a GO pledge, these bonds were rated by S&P, Standard & Poor's, who carries an existing AA rating on the city of St. Francis and its general obligation, other general obligation bonds. They affirmed that rating, and they awarded a stable outlook, meaning that over the next 2-year horizon, given what they know, the discussion with the city administrator and finance director, as far as your budgets and anticipation of budgeting for next year, they don't anticipate any changes to that rating. So very good result with that call. There is a copy of the rating report that's included in the packet information I handed out to each one of you. In that report, they do law the city's financial management, meaning a strong rating. They also are very high on the city's fund balance, or existing fund balance plus restore cash that's held on hand as a flexible resource to offset any kind of capital needs or a downturn in the economy. And we think that that provides some additional security to bondholders that keep that AA rating. One of the negatives that they note is a high debt burden. Certainly consistent with past reports. However, they do say that they expect that debt burden to improve in the short term, given that some of the grant funding that's going on with the wastewater facility will come in and alleviate some of the bonds the city has outstanding, as well as allowing for demonstration of utility revenues to pay off that debt. S&P waits about 3 years to demonstrate that utility revenues are paying off the debt necessary. They'll go ahead and erase that from their calculations, since it's not being funded from a levy or other sources of the city. With that said, I'm very pleased with the results. We did receive 4 bids. The winning bid from Cantor Fitzgerald, again, the savings that I quoted came in with a calculated interest rate of 2.65% off the bid. This is about a 2-point reduction in what is currently being paid, financed from those lease payments and bonds held by the EDA. So quite a reduction in the interest expense over the life of these bonds. The other 3 bidders, Baird out of Milwaukee, FTN Financial out of Tennessee, as well as Northland Securities out of Minneapolis bid on bonds. So we're as good as Cantor Fitzgerald. With the result of the bidding, the final principal amount they will have outstanding on the bonds will be $6.7 million. There was some reoffering premium that was included in the bid. That reoffering premium will be applied since you don't need additional proceeds, because we're refinancing existing debt. It'll be applied and has reduced that principal amount. Some of the cost of issuance came in a bit below what we had conservatively budgeted for in the presentation we gave you last month, and so all of those savings are being applied to reduce that outstanding principal balance and feed into the savings. With that said, we anticipate, should the council move forward and adopt a resolution that has been updated with all of this information from your bond attorney and the engraving. If you adopt that resolution, we anticipate closing on this transaction on August 10th. That's when an escrow account will be funded in the city's name to pay off the remainder of the EDA balance and then convert over to the city's debt from here on out. Should the council have any questions, I'll stand and address them right now. happy to deliver these results and the anticipated savings. It was a good session.
Thank you very much. By the way, the timing couldn't have been better, perfectly planned. But I want to say to you that, just for the general knowledge of the public, a GO bond, I explained this before at your last presentation, but GO is general obligation, so that means it's on the full faith and credit of the whole city, not just one department over another. So where this was basically based on Public Works Police Department building facet, this is now on the whole city. So it's able to allow us to make it more sellable to the market. The AA rating is fantastic that it stayed like that, and we are working to get the town as we noted before. So that's a thing that we were elected to do, and we are maintaining. So with that, I mean, I'm very pleased myself as far as the dollar amount saved and what this can do. So excellent job on Eller's part. Glad to have you aboard. And I open this up for discussion with anybody in the council. Anybody comments?
I just want to thank you for your work.
So on that, need a motion to accept?
So
The
we have to
resolution.
adopt the resolution and enter into the agreement, is that correct, Nick?
So the resolution will actually allow for entry into the escrow agreement, so it's just one action.
Then do I have a motion to adopt the resolution 2017-9, or 2017-19, right?
Yep.
Awarding the sale of the general obligation capital improvement bonds, series 2017-8. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Bauer makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Miller makes it a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to let you know that the EDA did meet and passed its resolution 2017-01, moving that from the EDA to the general obligation bond.
Okay, very good. Well, barring any further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Nick, very much. Good job. Okay, this advanced refunding escrow, is that part of that, or is this, that part is okay, good. All right, public hearings, let's see, old business, none? New business, scheduled work session, that's what we need to do.
Mayor, members of the council, the finance committee has a meeting set up tomorrow and then the following Tuesday again. Those two meetings were expected to formulate kind of an overall budget recommendation to the whole city council. Kind of thought it would be appropriate to bring the whole council into that process as soon as we can here, so the finance committee can make that recommendation and we can talk about it and see how all the pieces of the puzzle fit into the budget for 2018. So we're looking to schedule a work session sometime middle of August, whenever we can be available for that.
Okay,
So the week of the 13th through the 19th, 14th through the
14th to
19th?
18th, rather? 14th to 17th, rather.
Well, yeah.
Anybody got a problem with that? That time frame, that time?
The 14th through the 17th? No, I'm free. I am going out of town on the 18th for 2
Okay,
weeks.
so it'd be nice to hit you before that, okay, good. Rich?
I know I'm gone the week before. I think that week is available right now.
Okay, well,
I'm good.
all right, I'm good.
I should be fine, I haven't seen it.
Okay, so Joe, pick a day.
Do you want to just do that off Monday, the 14th, or at least try for that as of right now? Since that would be.
Okay. That sound agreeable?
Oh, wait a minute, I don't think
Oh,
our finance
Darcy?
director is going to be around.
Darcy's not gonna.
I'm on vacation, but it's up to you guys.
Okay, so, and you're leaving, you're on vacation from what to what? You told me earlier today.
I'm on that week.
The whole week.
Would you prefer the week before? I would think so, and then coming
She'd
back.
probably prefer to be on vacation.
That's what I.
20 days early. No, that'd be fine. Whatever works for you guys, other than.
Okay, we have a council meeting on that. How about, is August 8th okay? August 8th, Tuesday, is that okay with everybody? or
Not for me.
Not for Rich, okay, so. yeah, that's good. Okay, and, let's see, it's the 25th.
Do any days that week first for you, Rich?
I don't think so, right? I know I'm gone Monday, Tuesday, then I'm trying to piggyback another trip on the end of that one, so I think I'm gonna be gone all week.
So if we could, can we do it like the first to the third?
Yeah, I was gonna say the
I mean, the first we got night to night,
Yep.
so, you know, that's out there. We'll do it that one.
So
So what about Wednesday the 2nd? Does that sound like the winner?
Wednesday the 2nd?
Wednesday the 2nd?
I think Wednesday the 2nd would work
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
I don't have my work schedule in front of me
so.
right now, but, I mean,
All right, let us know if you have it. Rich?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be out of town beginning of that week, but I should be back Wednesday the 2nd. If you wanted to make it Thursday the 3rd, I think for sure I can do that, but.
All right. Hopefully we're off around it, Dana. If third's okay, I'd say we do it the third then. Okay?
That works for you?
5:30, 6 o'clock.
5:30?
5:30 on the 3rd?
Yeah, 5:30 on the third, okay?
At City Hall.
Yeah.
That's gonna be Thursday.
All right. All right, got that done, okay. Barb, anybody for public second reading?
No, no one's saying that.
Okay. All right, well, that moves us on to Public Works Monthly.
Mayor, council, in your packets tonight, you have our monthly reports for the streets, parks, water, and sewer departments. I'd answer any questions if you might have them.
Anyone have any questions for Paul?
Yeah, I'd have a question, but I wasn't sure if I should bring it up now or perhaps my report from a council member. But I went to the Upper Rum River Watershed meeting, and the county has a position that they're getting an internship for as a grant. And so the salary for this position is going to be paid for out of the grant. However, it needs to be stipulated that, or it's stipulated that she can only work on stormwater issues. So the question that they posed to me is if there's any projects in St. Francis that we could perhaps use an internship to help us work through. It could be education or inventorying stuff or whatever. They haven't gotten this person yet, so we're not sure what their expertise are. But I did mention this to Joe, and I know Joe was going to talk to Paul, but I just wanted to let the council know that this is perhaps an option for us to get free labor and stuff like that, and if the county's paying for it, we're not using our MS4 funds to use it. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure that Paul knew about that and ask their public works director if there was any projects, or maybe have a list of projects perhaps that we could communicate to the Anoka County Conservation District up there, and it might be, you know, something that they could put this intern on.
Paul, what do you think?
We can put together a list.
Good, thanks, Jerry. All right, let's see. I want to mention something here because, you know, it was in the consent, and so, you know, that buyback program for the Bobcat, I like that. That's excellent. Keeps us always having a machine we can count on, and the trade-in's good, the price is good. So did you start us on that?
No, that was started before me.
I was going to put a feather in your cap, but I guess I'm not tonight.
Paul, you could have taken credit.
I can't take credit, no.
He's an honest guy, Rich. Okay, all right, well, I like it though. I think it's a good idea. You know, your equipment's everything, so we're having a good shape in that. It was good.
Mr. Mayor, there is one other thing. I got an email from MnDOT. Several years ago, I put in an interview at MnDOT, so I get periodic emails from them. And, you know, I'm sure Paul knows this, but there's basically snow plowing. There's a snow plowing simulator that if we have any new drivers that perhaps need to brush up on their snow plowing skills or that has never operated a snow plow, we could sign up and they can actually sit in a simulator and simulate like they're driving a plow truck and not actually put anybody in danger. So, you know, Paul, I don't know if there's anybody that would need to go or like to go or that needs training. I'm not sure if Blake has done that or if he's going to be on that rotation or whatever, but, you know, that might be a good resource to use.
You must have a nice mailbox.
I gotta, you know, it's pretty cool. I mean, that I get these emails, I know what's going on, but at DOT, but they're really good at training. You know, they actually come in and they'll do training for work zone safety or something like that, so.
Mayor, council, I can certainly check into that, and we'll see what the costs are, and we'll send whoever we can afford to.
Is that picked up by the county then, or no?
Well,
Or MnDOT?
I'm assuming, let's see if I can find the email real quick.
While you're doing that, can I mention something?
Oh, absolutely.
I noticed we had the police got a tour of the wastewater treatment, with the chemicals deal here or whatever. Have we given our new fire chief a tour of the facility?
Mayor, council, he's been here about 10 minutes, so no, we haven't had him through the facility yet, but most of the fire staff have been through the facility as well as the police department.
Thought I remembered that, that's why we
Yep,
threw it out
yep.
there.
But as soon as he's available, we'll get him through.
Well, it ain't going anywhere, we know that. All right, what else said he was? All right, you know, while I'm here right now, and I'm just gonna ask this question of John here. How did July 4th, the 2nd, the sales go?
The second was very good.
Very good?
Since then, it's lacked.
Yeah.
But it's, the first one was, like I said, very good. The second one was the worst day of the year so far. And then yesterday was.
Of course, we have vacation time right now, it's new, I mean, you know.
It's too early to tell how
Right.
it's gonna be, when there's no consistency
The
yet,
timing was
so-
perfect for the opening, though, 2nd and the
Correct.
4th and that, so I understand
Correct.
that. But
Yep.
still, okay, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yep, that whole weekend was a great.
You know, it's kind of like when you're not 21, you want to go to a bar, and after you're 21 and you're 60s like I am, it doesn't matter anymore. So I guess that's what'll happen with that, so. All right, well, Jerry's trying to find that, if we can move on here a little bit, so.
I got a question for Paul. Do we have a test date on our guy that's supposed to be for the wastewater treatment facility, or did he test? And
Mayor, council, I'm happy to report he did pass.
All right.
So as of the end of June, the Kluver contract was canceled, and Parrish has been taking care of our wastewater treatment plant.
Excellent. Can answer your question. That's what you're waiting for.
Thank you.
Very good. Were you going to share that with us, or?
Sorry.
I saw Parrish today, too. I would congratulate him. Okay. All right. Are we done with any other questions on his Public Works report at all? I like how you print that out, by the way. It spells it out pretty good, so thank you. Okay. Moving on to council member reports, and this time I'm going to start with Rich.
I don't have too much outside of, and I assume you're going to remind people about the 19 night on August 1st, that'll be coming up. Then my only other thing I wanted to ask, the bi-weekly request of Kate, how's our prospective builder on the cul-de-sac in my neighborhood doing? Is he all okay with, like, he's got a pile of trusses, it looks like he's ready to start building, is he all square?
He has been working very closely with both engineering and our building official. It looks like he is going to take on one of his 2 projects right now, and one of his 3, and things are being moved to correct the issues. We do continue to stress on filling in the hole when they're there to move the dirt over, they will get that done, so.
And do we have any time frame of that?
We haven't, I know he called in today, I'm not aware of what that conversation was.
Well, you know, I understand, you know, what we're trying to do and work with him. I understand that he wants to get his excavation out there as they dig the holes. He wants to do it at the same time and all that. But I'm running out of patience, I have to admit. I'm running out of patience. I want that hole filled in. I don't care how he does it. I want it filled in. So all I can tell you is, you can tell him on the cameras, whatever, get that hole filled in if you want those permits. Okay? State says we have to award him a permit, doesn't say when we have to do it. So I would work with me and this council if I was him. So get that hole filled in. I hope he's listening in because he needs to know that. If you want to, you can have him call him, have a set a meeting up with me, that's fine, but he needs to hear from something, okay? No reflection upon you, but this is enough here. I'm tired, especially as a contractor, hearing, well, this and that, when this time's out, and we do excavate the hole, I'll have the cat out here, and we can do that and do this. That hole's been sitting there for months. I don't want a child falling in that hole, I don't want to have to explain something like that, I don't care his responsibility or not, it's a reflection upon the city, it needs to be filled in, so let's make sure that gets done, okay? I hope the council agrees with me on that. Okay? All right, Rich, anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Thank you, Kate, by the way. I think you already know how I feel about that. Okay.
Glad I could bring it up for you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Rob?
I just have a few things from the consent agenda. I want to thank the firefighter Dan Thompson for his many, many years of service to the city. It's a sad day to lose him. He was a very senior firefighter. I hate to see him move on, but I take firefighting very serious in the city of St. Francis, and I hate to see him leave, but I wish him the best. I'll reiterate, Tuesday night's coming up. I hope to see a lot of people out there. That's all I have.
Joe?
For me, not a lot, been busy a lot with work, unfortunately, but I would like to thank Dan Thompson as well as Anna for their work. Sad to see him go, but I guess it is what it is, and night to unite, pretty much what everybody said.
Sure.
Well, I want to welcome our fire chief here. Welcome to the city.
Thank you.
You know, it's good seeing you at this table. A couple more things about the Upper Rum River Watershed Organization. Part of their 10-year plan, the big thing that's getting pushed from the state is buffer zones. And I'm sure everybody has heard about buffer zones and what they do, but basically it's an area, for example, if I'm a farmer, if I'm plowing a field and there's a ditch just off my field, I need to leave, depending on how valuable that waterway is deemed, I need to leave a certain amount of area untilled to allow water not to run off and not to allow erosion and whatnot. Now there's talk about expanding that to less important waterways that could perhaps empty into, waterways that are deemed more important. Right now it's just talk, but there is a plan that the Upper Rum River Watershed Commission is looking at submitting to the cities. And so when we would issue a permit for building, just to take some criterias into effect on how much buffer we're going to require. We can take them into effect and not require any buffer, but it just needs to be part of the consideration. So I'll keep the council posted as that comes down, because it directly affects our city and our building.
Very good.
Other than that, I wanted to remind everybody about the Night to Unite. It's usually a great time. There's got a lot of organizers in the city that are there. I know that the Ambassadors Club is there, the Legion is there, and it's just great. And I know there's a ton more that I'm needing to know with the chamber.
I got it right here, my resources.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of people there, so I don't want to mention them because I'll forget some and then they'll be upset. So, but it's great to come out, talk to people, get some food and just see what community is all about. So, other than that, I have nothing.
Okay, all right, well, I guess it's my turn. So, first of all, I want to welcome the new fire chief and welcome you aboard. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. It was kind of different with the split day in the middle, that Monday to Tuesday. I understand that one, but it happens. And I just want to read something with this Knights United. We've got this posted on our website, and we've also got it posted on our Facebook page, but it says here, and we're going to do some different things here. Lori Roberts has done an excellent job working with the other organizations to make this a different type of Knights United. So there's going to be police and fire displays of St. Francis Reserves, a line of Airlink, a helicopter from 6:37, Northwood Memorial that our fire chief has brought on board, Air Care from 7:30 to 6:30. So get the kids out to see that. That should be fun. Visit from Eddie Eagle, Army Reserves with the rock climbing wall, bouncy house, and Jennifer's Traveling Treats, and Praise Pantry will be there to take food donations. So I have to commend Lori for doing a good job here, pulling this together and doing some different things to entice people to come out. So it's your city. Let's get out there and unite, and it's part of the summer, you know, because we're halfway through this thing, so we want to get out there and enjoy the weather, and hopefully it won't be as hot as last year and muggy as it was. But, and there's no campaigning this year as there was last year, so that's nice. Want to also bring up something here that I talked to our police sergeant here, Dave, and I will be talking to Todd, and I have mentioned this to him before. I have been working on Poppy Street for 3 years, and I can tell you there's other streets. Pedersen is one of them with a drop in speeding, and which is a problem for speeders and that. I want something made perfectly clear here to everyone out there in the public and at this council meeting. The police are going to start tagging people, okay? And if you're not following these signs are not to be ignored, okay? I don't mind 35 and a 30, but 50, 60 miles and a 30 is something that upsets the heck out of me. I saw a car in my neighborhood last week going 60 miles an hour at 6:50 in the morning, which to me is an accident waiting to happen. I get so upset at that. I don't want to be the mayor that calls someone up and says, and has to explain to a parent why their child died because we relaxed in our duties. So I can tell you right now, if I were you, and I know I follow it, follow the signs. They're posted. If it says 30, 30, 40, 40, follow it. Because the police are going to be tagging. They have a radar gun now. They're going to be getting another one, and they will be tagging. The fault will lie with you if you get tagged. Don't blame anyone else but yourselves. So I want to commend the police on it. I want to tell you that you have my full support on this, and I'm sure the council too. But this speeding dilemma in these residential roads has got to stop. I mean, it's becoming, you know, signs are only as good as enforcement behind them. But what's happening is people are ignoring these signs, and that is totally unacceptable to me. Okay? There's children playing in the streets. It's summertime and that. We don't get a lot of time out to enjoy it, and people are out and about in all our areas. But I know there's about 6 neighborhoods this pertains to. I know Poppy's one, Pedersen's another, and I can go on. But the police will be watching. So if you get tagged, look in the mirror, put the fault on yourselves and not everybody else. And that's my one warning here, and you'll be seeing that more often. And so I'm going to be pushing for that. I don't like to get like this, but at the same time, I'm sick and tired of seeing these people speed down these roads like it's a racetrack, because it's not a racetrack. These are residential areas, and they're marked 30 for a reason. And just to let you know, in case you didn't know, when there is no sign markage in a residential area, it's an automatic 30. So just to let you know that. Okay, also, let's see, a new website is in the making here. You're going to be really happy with this one. I know I'm excited about it. It's coming up in August. So we've been working with Kate Thunstrom, Jen and Lori, and Anna, and it's going to look really good. It's going to be informative. It's going to be within 2 clicks to find out municipal codes, mini codes. We're going to have our notification part on it, subscription on it. We're going to actually update and bring us into the second millennium, which will be interesting for us. Also, I want to say I want to get the names right here because I know Anna, but Dan Thompson, wish him the best. And of course, Anna, I wish you the very best. I know why she's leaving, and family comes always first, so the best of luck to her in her future, and she'll always be in our thoughts and prayers. As far as one question I have for Craig, how are we doing on the study on Riverbank?
So last week we started the survey. We're going to finish that up this week. We did beyond the right-of-ways with the drone, and then did some field survey within the right-of-way. So we've been going on really kind of looking at it towards the end of the week once the telephone's in, and then probably towards the early August.
Okay, and that should time out good with the grant applications coming out. Okay, good. So just to let everybody know, if you're listening from Riverbank, we agreed at the meeting the proper procedure was to get the studies done, surveys and studies, so then we would know what to do with the temporary fix, and then how to lead into a permanent fix and let everybody know. So we will let everybody know as we get the information to us. We'll put it out to everybody else. Once again, I hope everybody enjoyed the 4th, and sad to see, it seems like summer right up to Memorial Day moves fast, and all of a sudden, we're July 4th, and we're on our way to Labor Day. So get out there, enjoy the outdoors as much as you can, and again here, you'll notice, like I say again on the sites here, read about it, because I really hope people get out for this. They put a lot of time and effort into it, and it's a nice time to come out and mingle with your neighbors. I mean, we are a small city, but getting out to know people, like I said, last time was more a campaign thing, so it kind of like maybe put a dent in a little bit, but this time it's going to be fun with the helicopters. I'm kind of anxious about them, so we'll see how that turns out. Anything, let's see, I don't think there's anything much else. I think that's very good. Jerry?
No, I know I mentioned it earlier, I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks in August, but as I was looking at the bottom of the agenda, there's should be an August 21st council meeting, and because that's going to be the second or the third Monday in August, and I'll be missing that one. I'm going to be out of town.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I just had one follow-up question. Is there an action item with respect to what Mike had brought forward about the sirens? I mean, I live out in the boonies and I can't hear them, but it's my own fault for living out in the boonies. It's a little disconcerting to know that where some of our highest population density is, if they have trouble hearing tornado sirens. And I don't recall this issue ever coming up before, and I don't know if if our system's not keeping up with the growth in the city, or is there something we want Joe and the engineer to look into, or?
Who do we talk to?
Paul.
Emergency management traditionally falls under the police department in the city, mayor and council members. And if I understand correctly, there is a third-party service that comes out and maintains our severe weather activation system. I would almost bet that they would be able to come out and do some testing as far as range. What are we covering and what are we not covering? So that would probably be the first step, is to contact our third service.
All right, so who can make the call then? Joe, or who could do that?
We'll get on it. Between 3 or 4 of us here,
Okay.
we'll make sure that we follow up on it.
Come on, thanks, Mike, for bringing that up. Go ahead.
I brought that up when we started on the county garage, and that falls under the jurisdiction of the police chief to see to that all the sirens are working. And I don't think it's just my neighborhood that can't hear them. I think it's something we should look into as a community. I don't know, can you hear them where you're at, Rich? I mean, you guys are...
No, I mean, if the wind's right, you can hear them at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. But that's our own fault for living. I can't expect everybody in a city like ours, where not everybody's going to hear them the same, but I would think at least at a minimum, I would think our most highly populated areas would. But I think the first step is we can have our emergency management team take a look at what we have. I think that's the first step. That'd be my recommendation.
I think it's a good idea, definitely. Just as important as that Nixle on our website coming up too. That's just important. So. By the way, I want to reemphasize something that I've mentioned to you before, but to the public in general, if you have questions on building permits, on policies with whether it be a mobile home type of situation, whether it be a deck, whatever it is, call the city. Call a building official. Phil, call Kate Tunstrom, our community development director. Call the city, find out the answers before you start, because the worst thing you can do is start and then find out you didn't do it the right way, and then we have to come out and make it harder for you, and we don't want to do that. So work with us to work with you. It really works together. It's best when we work together like this versus like this. I hope that we can continue, but I know we got some code enforcements that we're dealing with from the past. It makes it difficult to look forward when you're still tied behind one hand tied behind your back to deal with the past. So call ahead. It's a simple call, and it'll give you an honest answer. I promise you that. I definitely promise you that.
Mr. Mayor, I would encourage everybody, I mean, even on Facebook, there's a lot of stuff there that people are asking questions, and for the amount of time it takes to read 96 comments, somebody can just call City Hall and find out an answer.
Much easier.
Yep.
So
I would encourage people to contact City Hall a lot more than they do.
Yeah, I agree. A simple phone call.
Or just tag Jerry.
But I'm saying a simple phone call can take.
And I'm clueless sometimes too, so
But a simple phone call can make it easier for both sides. Not having us to enforce something and make it easier for you to do it right the first time, which is a nice thing to do. So, All right, on that, no further business? On that case, I call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.